the meantime, also people, how was last evening? Did this FDP day one had a impact, if any? You can always put it in the chat box. You need not unmute. How was last evening impact? You can say good, bad, ugly. Instead of saying yes, you can say good, bad, ugly. Any one of these adjectives you can use, okay? There are 60 plus participants. I wish to get feedback from, I will not say feedback, it's just a connecting thing, because all these 5 days is a very connected talk. Okay, with that note, today I will go with another kutti story, and these are all small stories in just 2 lines. I will not call this as a story. It's just a quick 2-verse line. Okay, there was a very old man. Who had this amazing attitude. And in his t-shirt, he has written it, I am not 80 years old. Okay, I am not 80 years old. I am a very sweet 16 with 64 years of experience. That is the rocking attitude of such an elderly man who could present himself the best. Okay, so that is how we need to be. Of course, we cannot be the other person, but to some extent, give the best of our existence in this universe. And I'm sure all this information courtesy, I would always connect it to the World Wide Web. All these stories, programs that we are learning, we always learn from the book, and now the book source is always the web world. So there is another 2-verse line saying that every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive tomorrow. Nobody knows what is the next moment. We hear a lot of celebrity stories. We hear a lot of friend stories. One fine day, we don't exist. But we still always have that hope. The next morning, we set the alarm and we always sleep believing that I will get up tomorrow. It includes for me, for you. Probably some people keep alarms, some people don't. But ultimately, we have a thought called hope. So clinging to this hope rope, let's continue our today's session. With your consent on a virtual level, I'm happy to see 73 participants. We have already started the session. I would like to know how many of you have attended FDPs on time management, this particular topic and tomorrow's topic, stress management. How many of you have attended time management in specific? Quick replies in the chat box. FDP on time management. Okay, there is one. No, ma'am, this is the first time. So only Mano, Manian or somebody. So only one person. Sudha madam, no, I did not attend. So amongst the crowd, only one person. I'm surprised. All right. Nice. We attend to a lot of programs, like I said yesterday. All we need is a pinch and a tinge of initiative so that we will go to the next level of expanding our own self-improvement. So, Madam Nitisha, please put on the PPT.
Yes, ma'am.
There is one bitter truth that nobody likes when I say this, including my own self, when I was realizing, how I've been existing with my work life and how we were doing when we were doing a PhD, work and PhD, how difficult it is. All this will always make us realize that we actually don't manage time. Please go to the next slide, Kanna. The introductory slide, everyone knows. I'm sure everyone are aware that today's agenda is time management. The surprising shock is you are always going to manage yourself and not time. Whether it is anger management, whether it is stress management, any blah, blah, blah managements that we speak, there's a surprising shock that you can never manage them unless and until you're going to manage yourself. Please put the second slide. I would say it is managing yourself. So next slide. These are the topics that we would be covering today. Can you put it on a bigger version? Introduction to time management, detecting difficulties in managing your time, procrastination. I'm sure all of you know the meaning. If not, I will, repeat it. Planning your time, goal setting or to-do list. Now, I'm sure whoever is attending the program might have done your own strategies of managing time. So I'm no one to dictate on it. Okay. You would have had a better version, an excellent planner, an excellent executor. This will be more of a repetitive things. Many of us do know, but we wouldn't have implemented. This is what we have been telling from day one. So these are the 5 major agendas that we would be covering. And I'm sorry, yesterday we exceeded a little bit of time. Today I'll see to it. That's not really, bugging your head. So here is the definition. The next slide. The next slide. It's very simple. Give the maximum utilization of your time. Time management is simply nothing but using the time available to you. Just because I am the CM and PM and any XYZ, the sun will never say, okay, you are the CM of this country, or you're the big person in the country, or any other agendas. Forget that CM thing, any big agendas. The sun will not say, you sleep, no issues, I will come very late for you. நிதானமா வர நீங்க தூங்கி எனிச்சு வாங்கன்னு இயற்கை நிக்கவே நிக்காது. The rule is unfortunately the same, and we have to slog and swim in this, which the whole world knows it. So you're going to manage time, whatever that is available to you. The next slide. So what you have to do is, here I will go for a quick moment, because this advice you would have heard from everyone. Madam, நீங்க plan பண்ணுங்க சரியாயிடும். Sir, நீங்க focused இருங்க சரியாயிடும். நீங்க goal set பண்ணுங்க. This is the third one, is very, 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 very important. Without goal setting, you can never manage time. I do not know in how many of the FTPs you have heard this. Without setting goals, your time can never be managed. It is incomplete. Time management will be another theoretical lecture that you would be listening to it. Okay. It is something like the Vadivelu joke. Edu pannalum plan panni pannano. He will drag it, saying that planning is very important. And this we would have heard time and again from people. But when it comes to execution, we'll be shocked that we are not able to materialize it for some simple reason, that we never have goals. Now, goal setting is another vast topic to talk. We are not, pulling that into the system. All I would say is, first, per day set goals, per week set goals, per month, per year. And you need not take the big agenda of setting for 1 year. ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு நான் என்ன பண்ண போறேனே தெரியல, இப்படி எல்லாம் பிளான் பண்ண நம்ம பிளான் பண்ண மாதிரியா நடக்கும்? கண்டிப்பா நடக்காது. So set short term goals. That is the initiative step you can do. So without the third point, you can never work on time management. Goal setting is the key. The next slide. Barney ma'am, I would request you to keep me away from the host position, because I'm getting all this, admit, and the screen is slightly going away from me.
Yes, ma'am, definitely will remove.
Sorry, Barney ma'am.
It's okay, ma'am.
Detecting difficulties. First, right now, all of you, I'm sure you're all, we are all grown-up people. There are a lot of experiences that we would have had, as I already told you. Many would have already managed time very effectively. Some, we find it still very difficult. We come rushing to our workplace or any other place, unless and until it is an external factor. Write down what problems you have when you manage your time. I will give you a quick 1 minute. Let's detect the difficulties in managing your time. Be genuine to yourself and try to write it down. Just write down. We call this technique as journaling. It will do magic. It will do magic when you write down and when you work. Just write it down. I can say tick, tick 1, tick, tick 2, till tick, tick 60. I can keep saying it, but assume I'm saying tick, tick 1, 2, 3 till 60. Okay, write down your difficulties to manage time. Good. In today's session, I will give you 3 to 4 methodologies. You can take any one method. This is just for your input when you execute your life. For example, for me, a matrix will help, but not a RAC method. For you, a technique called salami might work, not the other method. So there are no hard and fast rules. As we go, we will be executing different method. You take any one method which is convenient to you. Don't vomit everything that is shown to you in the PPT. That is very important. Now I request Nitisha madam to play the RAC method. I want to show everyone a quick video. Meantime, you're writing your difficulties. I think that 1 minute is over. RAC video. You have got a separate video, Nitisha madam. I request you to play that either from the PPT or the live video.
Yeah, just 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah. Till then, people will be writing the difficulties. You can also write very difficult to sit in your session, ma'am. You can write that. I have no issues. Today's number is a reflection of yesterday's program. I'm surprised to find that it has come to 84. Could not finish the work before the time limit because we would have had a lot of clutters. Clutter in place is clutter in mind. When we disorganize things in the table, that itself is a big sign that we are disorganized in our system as well. Is it playable, ma'am? So here you have a video. I otherwise call it as journaling. Yes, please play. Please watch this video.
Paying attention to how you spend your time will help you manage it more effectively. Today we are going to help you take control of your day with the RAC method. Recording, analysing and changing. 3 easy steps to great time management. Pause and print a copy of the RAC handout that accompanies this lesson. Okay, let's go. Step 1. Recording. When you wake up tomorrow, note the time in your day planner, and as the day progresses, write down everything you do. Yes, we mean everything. Keep this up from the time you wake up until you go to sleep. Step 2. Analysing. At the end of the day, go through the schedule and highlight any chunks of time that you don't feel were used productively. Pick out your 5 biggest time wasters. Add up all the time you wasted. Step 3. Changing. Now it's time to get that time back. Here are 3 ways to change your time wasting habits and become a better time manager. 1. Prioritise. To-do lists are a really effective way to manage your time and priorities. Limit the number of tasks on the list to 5 and assign rankings to them in order of importance. 2. Declutter. Don't waste time looking for things. Decluttering saves time. 3. Schedule. Multitasking isn't the way to go. It will just stress you out and delay you even more. Instead, set aside blocks of time for individual activities. For each activity, set start and stop points. This way, your day is clearly segmented. Stick to this schedule. Try going 1 week using these tips to reduce your wasted time. At the end of the week, go figure out where you've improved your time management skills and see how much time you've saved.
Thank you, Nitisha. Now, tell me, how many of us, don't put it in the group. No, I have not done. Tell to yourself, have we really recorded what we are going to do for today? Have we really analyzed it? And did we bring in a change? The answer would be predominantly no. And this is where you have to put in that stick of awareness and you really need to work on. Okay. So basically what happens is we don't do things because we are not interested or it is not motivating. That is why we procrastinate. I'm sure many of you know what is procrastination. Thalli podurudhu. Naalaiku paathukalam, naalanikku paathukalam. Finish it off அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு attitude வரலன்னா you find it very, very disinteresting, or we don't understand what it is, or we are not in the mood of it. But basically, why we procrastinate, we have a very strong psychological reasons behind it. I would like to tell that much before talking about procrastination and the reasons for it, I want from the audience group to understand that it's a simple, psychological technique, whichever is difficult. Finish it off first so that you're away from that anxiety and fear. The more you push it away, the more anxious you will become. This is one psychological tip I would like to give. எது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கோ அது நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் முடிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா அந்த அடுத்த 10 நாள் ஒரு மாசம் அந்த டென்ஷன்லயே நீங்க இருக்க வேண்டாம். இட் ஒர்க்ஸ் மேஜிக். நம்ம என்ன நினைப்போம், ஐயோ வேலை இருக்கு, நம்ம மைண்டை விட்டு அது போகாது. ஐயோ வேலை இருக்கு, ஐயோ இது முடிச்சிருக்கலாம். திஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் நெகட்டிவ் வேர்டிங்ஸ் வில் கீப் ஹிட்டிங் யுவர் பிரெயின். So the best way to do is most difficult finish first, so the next 1 week, 2 days, 1 month, whatever numbers you are, you will be away from anxiety and fear. Otherwise you always live with that anxiety and fear and not completing the work. Both are unhappy for you. This is one psychological tip I would like to give. Now we will see, you know, what is procrastination. I don't want to give you a definition of it. Kana, we can continue with the slide. We will see why we procrastinate. Okay. When we do something pleasurable, Nitisha, you can go to the slide, next slide, and come to why do we procrastinate. When I do things that I like, you know, it gives you a very driving motivation. Nama moolayila and the dopamine ngra oru you know, all about hormones, chemical messengers I'm talking about. Let's not go to the technical side. You just understand dopamine increases. Next slide, Nitisha. So for me, sitting in FB gives me more happiness than doing my research work. Probably that can be the reason. Next slide, ma. Next slide. Why do we procrastinate? Come to it. So the first psychological reason is dopamine. Next is we have what is called, our brain will go through what is called temporal discounting. Not the brain will go through, we go through. It just means that, you know, it is a complete phenomena in which the subjective value of some reward loses its magnitude when it is delayed. This is something like justice delayed is justice denied. உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்க வேண்டிய ஒரு ரிவார்டோ, ஒரு புஷ்ஷோ, ஒரு மோட்டிவேஷனோ ரொம்ப லேட்டா கொடுத்தோம்னா நமக்கு அந்த விஷயம் பண்ணவே தோணாது. எப்படி இருந்தாலும், you know, you're not going to get what you want to get. So we call this phenomenon as temporal discounting. Your brain receives all these messages. Okay, this is one reason why we procrastinate. In simple words, you're not motivated, but you should know why we are going through it. அது தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா நீங்க அதை ஆல்டர் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணுவீங்க. And the whole purpose of FDP is this. Okay, not just telling you methods and walking away. So you go through temporal discounting and you go through what is called hyperbolic discounting. You know, where people choose smaller immediate rewards rather than large rewards. I'm saying, okay, you finish your PhD. After 5 years, I will give you an increment of, 1 lakh. You're like, no, 5 years is too long. Okay. You want something immediately. You cannot go tell your 10th standard boy, you finish your exam. After 3-4 years, I will get you a bicycle. Your child will not get motivated. Of course, here again comes intrinsic motivation. People who are all naturally motivated, people who need a push. We are not going much into it. So these are all the reasons why you procrastinate. Either you don't get what you want to get, or you are not getting, you know, that immediate effect, or you're enjoying the other things. The dopamine is very high on the other factors, and that's why you procrastinate. Next slide. So what to do to avoid procrastination? You know, anyway, it is not pushing you. Unfortunately, here you have to push yourself. Unfortunately, you have to reward yourself. Okay, you have to pat yourself and get the work done. The other technical method is Pomodoro technique. Can I please go to the next slide? Pomodoro technique. Please have a look into the slide that is presented. Next slide, Nitisha. This is one of the effective technique. Anyway, you have no choice, that you have to work. So why don't you push yourself on a positive note? Next slide. One of the major technique is Pomodoro. Please have a look into it. First, plan your task. Standard. Every training you get this information, but you'll be surprised and shocked to know your own behavior. After training, we don't implement. That's a reason. Yesterday, first day of the training program, I gave you a circular chart saying that training attended, please assimilate. Don't allow it to fly off. So one of the technique is Pomodoro technique. Do 25 minutes of work. Okay. You need not do 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. In some cases, you have no choice. You have to work for 1 hour, you work for 1 hour. We are not coming to that agenda because it is out of our control. But when you do your tasks, 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break. In that 5 minutes, you can go have a walk. Okay, definitely not during the class hours. You know how a class hour is split. You can, breathe, close your eyes. We have, I implement a technique called do nothing. In the 5 minutes, do just nothing. No social medias, no unnecessary chats. But then this differs from personality to personality. A calm personality will prefer a do nothing procedure. Even if you're not a calm personality, just that 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you just close your eyes, not sleeping, not meditation, when you do nothing, you get lot of energy to do the next 5 hours work. This is the energy of your entire taxon, entire physiological anatomy, psychologically, physically, biologically. You will get so much of energy. That is why we need this night proper sleep to work effectively in the morning, because our brain waves rest. There's a technical session on what is a brain wave and how it works. So please follow Pomodoro technique. First, plan your task, then time for 20 minutes, and then a compulsory 5 minutes break. In that 5 minutes break, pen எடுத்து வைக்கிறது, அடுத்த வேலைக்கு ப்ராஜெக்ட் எடுத்து வைக்கிறது, அது பண்ணாதீங்க, எதுவுமே பண்ணாதீங்க. 5 minutes break is a break. A yes is a yes, a no is a no. If this works successfully, then repeat 4 Pomodoros. Romba simple. This will be really motivating. Have a look into the slide. We call this technique as Pomodoro. Next slide. This I will not repeat much. Take action. பண்ணுங்க, பண்ணாதான் விஷயம் தெரியும். நான் இப்ப பெட்லயே படுத்துட்டு டுடே ஐ அம் கோயிங் டு டூ எக்ஸசைஸ்னு ட்ரீம்லயே படுத்தா எக்ஸசைஸ் ஆயிடுமா? நோ. I have to step out of my bed, go put my shoes, walk. So do it, act it. That is very, very important. Next is salami technique. Salami technique is very simple. I don't want to read it from the net. All big tasks break into chunks. Closer to Pomodoro technique, but not exactly Pomodoro. Break into chunks, that's all. And then work on related tasks. As I already told you, do the hardest thing first. Set goals, make commitments. All these are, something that you need to do for yourself. Next slide. Next slide. So I've already told you what is salami technique. I've again relisted it. Next. So salami technique is nothing but breaking down the task into smaller parts. I use the word chunks so that you work through it, each of them, till it gets completed. You will not go to the next task. That is the key here. Till it gets completed, you will not go to the next task. This we study in artificial intelligence as programmed learning. Basically, they've taken a pinch of ideas from salami technique. So you can either use salami, you can either use Pomodoro, you can use TTD, you can use RAC, anything. But at least take one properly and do that. Next. So the salami technique example I have given you. First, analyze. எல்லாத்துலயுமே analyze, take action, plan. And இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு தெரியாத விஷயமா we already know. We have to be a doer and not a listener anymore. Then brainstorm, outline, put it as section 1, 2, 3. Prepare your own agenda. This I will not allow you to follow just this example that I've displayed. It is just an example. Put your own strategies of doing it. Of course, make commitment. This is my thing. I have to do it. Next slide, ma. Reward yourself. You can tell yourself, yes, Shanti, you've done very good. Good, Shanti. Today you have finished all cooking, taken care of the family. Hitting the college and getting back on time, great. So rewarding is something that you have to do. This is when I bring in self-talk. Yesterday, I told you, the more positively you affirm, the more you become that. This will continue. This will continue. This I will say in all 5 sessions throughout my life. The more negative you're labeling yourself, the more your brain believes. So please reward yourself properly. Planning your time. This I will not talk much because you know already. Plan it out. Next slide, ma. Plan it out. Next. How do you plan? Next. I shouldn't talk about this to our crowd at all. You're all excellent in this already. In fact, you're excellent in so many other techniques. It's just like I told you yesterday, session is more of a reminder session. Yearly timetable, weekly schedule, monthly planner. Nothing much to talk about it. Next. Set goals. Without goals, you don't achieve anything. Time management training is a super duper failure when you don't set goals. Next. Here I have mentioned SMART goals. As I tell in all my training, all the teachers are aware of it. பண்ணது அழுத்தத்திற்கு ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா இருக்கணும், நம்மளால பண்ணக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும், நான் அதை பண்ணக்கூடிய நிலையில இருக்கணும். Here I have mentioned specific, measurable, actionable. I will use the word attainable. Here they have given relevant. They means it's again me, but I would add one more adjective, realistic, and obviously time bound. If time is gone, it is the only irreversible thing in our life. One of the irreversible thing, life, death, time. Nobody can stop. You might be the king and queen of the entire universe. We might be this position, that position. We might be a baby. We might be this, that, nothing, but we can never get it back. Very, very strong. That's why we call nature as the most highest form of supremacy, and we celebrate that as God. Another technique is to-do list. I will rename it as things to do. TTD. TTD. Not Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, but it is things to do. Always have a kuti flashcards in your bag. You just get these green, orange, very nice colors. All these colors will help you to push more. That's why the flashcards are on those colors. The stick notes, simple as all known as stick notes. Always have a small stick note on your table. I'm sure this you don't require training at all. If I stick more to this list, I think I'm wasting my time because you are an expertise on it. Sure, நீங்க இதெல்லாம் நிறைய பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. So the more goals you set, the more you will become. Next slide, ma. I repeat, without setting goals. Goals na, I want to become the XYZ of the country. Kadayadu. Goal na, இந்த வாரத்துக்குள்ள என்னோட டாஸ்க் என்னெல்லாம்ங்கிறது ஷார்ட் டேர்ம் கோல்ஸ் எழுதினாலே ஃபென்டபிளஸ், மோர் தென் எனஃப். அதுக்கப்புறம் உங்க ட்ரீம் கோல், பர்சனல் கோல் அதெல்லாம் எழுதிக்கோங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட். திஸ் இஸ் வேர் வி ஆர் கமிங் இன். நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட். This is where another magic comes. See, already I told you salami technique. I've only delivered it, okay? You need time to receive it, and you're receiving it. I'm sure you're engramming it on your brain. I can feel the energy. So salami we have seen, TTD we have seen, Pomodoro we have seen, all rewarding, blast and blast. This is another strong method, my favorite method. This has helped me in my life throughout, from my MSc till my PhD and even otherwise in my life. We call this as Stephen Covey time management matrix. Okay. I've done a combination of salami and Stephen Covey. Pomodoro is my last choice. Now, this is a subjective decision. It need not be your way of doing. I am individually different. We are all biologically, psychologically, environmentally different. So you take any one method. Now, time management. How many of you are aware of this time management matrix already? Yes, no, quick responses.
I didn't know, ma'am.
No, if you're aware of it, it's excellent actually. How many? Yeah, no idea. This is a magic technique. This is a very popular technique. Everyone should have known by now, but that doesn't matter at all. Every day is a new day for me. The first quadrant, we again call this as quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. The first quadrant is, this job is very urgent for me and very important. Second quadrant is not urgent but important. ரொம்ப அர்ஜென்ட்டான வேலை இல்ல, ஆனா அது ரொம்ப முக்கியமான வேலை. Third quadrant, I'm calling the boxes as quadrant. அவ்வளவுதான். Nothing much to worry about the vocabulary that I'm using. Third quadrant is urgent but not important. Here people get confused. அது urgent, ஆனா அது முக்கியம் இல்லைனாலும் நீ பண்ணிதான் ஆகணும். Your position will demand. ட்ரைனிங்ல வேணா சும்மா கதை அடிக்கலாம். இல்ல நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் குவாட்ரண்ட் தான் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Sometimes environment control is out of you. That is where you bring in your own personality to, decide the intensity and the frequency of the need. Only you will know it. The trainer will not know it. It's your breath, your life, your thing. Okay, the last quadrant, not urgent, not important. Majority of us, Johari window is about the shape is similar. Johari window is about how I am aware of myself and how others are aware of me and how am I introspecting and what others know about me. Johari window is different. That is about self-knowledge. This is about your time management. So Dr. Sheba, it is slightly different. Box பார்த்தோனே டக்குன்னு நம்ம பிரெயின் என்ன ரிசீவ் பண்ணும், ரெண்டும் ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்குன்னு ரிசீவ் பண்ணும். ஓகேவா? It's something like face agnosia. This is box agnosia. Don't worry. Similar technique, XY is only similar. Okay. Last quadrant, not urgent, not important. நம்ம focus எல்லாமே unfortunately last quadrantல தான் இருக்கு. Yes or no? Yes or no? நம்ம எல்லாருமே not urgent, not important workல தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். Just tell me a quick yes or no. Yes, no, yes, no. You can type anything. I repeat this technique. First one is urgent, important. Today, some agenda is very, very urgent for me and also important. But unfortunately, I'm sitting on the not urgent and not important work. So what all you have to do is, you have to list your activities. First exercise I gave you, what are the difficulties you are facing? That you will wave it off. அது எப்படி அழிப்பீங்கன்னா, பொமடோரோ டெக்னிக் போட்டு அழிக்க your difficulties will reduce. Procrastination கம்மியாகும். See, Pomodoro, Salami and all is to help you to avoid procrastinate. The actual time management comes when you use the grid. Now list the activities. I'll give you 2 minutes for you to initiate, but 2 minutes that you cannot finish. List the activities, because if I don't want to give any homework. I promised you yesterday, there are no hard and fast rules. Otherwise, trust me, this training program will also become a waste. You need not take it 100%. If it is a waste, I take the entire responsibility that I was not effective. If it is successful, I give the full credits to the audience because you implemented. With that sincere note, I'm requesting all of you to work this consistently. Like I told you yesterday, all this 5 days program is a lifelong, consistent process that you need to make. Otherwise, we again come back to the same position where we stayed. That is how it will happen. We like it, we don't like it. That is what will happen. I am okay the way I am. That is a different story altogether. Ma'am, I am okay with the way I am. Yes, I am lazy. Yes, I have not managed. நான் எவ்வளவு பண்ணாலும் என்னால முடியலன்னு சொல்றவங்க ஆக்சுவலி நம்ம பண்ணிருக்கவே மாட்டோம். அதுதான் உண்மை. இல்ல எனக்கு பண்ணவே பிடிக்கலங்கிறது வேற. There you can never advise. So, of course, this is not an advice. This is a training program. Now list the activities. What is my urgent? What is my important for tomorrow? I'm giving you just short-term task. What is not urgent but still important for tomorrow? What is urgent and not important for tomorrow? Plan only for tomorrow, okay? Not urgent and not important for your tomorrow. So try to manage the quadrant 1, focus on quadrant 2. Please, have a limit. I will say avoiding should come for quadrant 4 and limit should come for quadrant 3. That is my upgrading research input I would like to give. Next slide, ma. Next slide. So time management matrix. Next slide, ma. Nitisha, ma. have a look into it. I need not advise at all. So urgent, important are your crisis, pressing problems. ஏன்னா அது அர்ஜென்ட், அவ்வளவுதான். அந்த வார்த்தையிலே அர்த்தம் வந்துச்சு, ரொம்ப அர்ஜென்ட் அது. It is a pressing problem and deadly driven projects. Tomorrow we are having some quality assurance meeting, important and urgent. Okay, the second one is not urgent, you can prevent it, you can still work. Today I cannot talk to my friend, tomorrow I can give her a call and say, sorry, I had a very important exam, hope you will understand. Tomorrow there is a training program for me. I told them, no, I have 5 days program. This week I'm occupied. Next week I'm available. So I can recognize the opportunity. I can still say, I can plan my activity. I cannot wave out from SKPC, which was the first agenda, and say, no, okay, I get more opportunities, I'll fit everything and I'll collapse. No. Third one is urgent and not important. But here they have given mails, some reports, some matters that may appear popular, but it will not help you. It is popular for the world, but not for you. Not urgent, not important. நான் சொல்லவே தேவையில்ல. நம்ம மொபைல் போன் எவ்வளவு தூரம் நம்ம டைம் கன்சியூம் பண்ணுது நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சு தெரியாம பேசி 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 நமக்கு அழுத்து போன விஷயங்கள் அதெல்லாம். So you know what it is. Next slide. Okay, I want this video to be played. Please watch this video. Volume da. Nitisha ma'am, can you play it from the screen?
Is the audio audible? Is the
No,
audio
it's not audible.
No, okay.
No, the audio is not audible. You play directly from the video, ma'am.
Okay. Just 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hope I was clear till now. Dear audience, till then we can have a talk. Was I clear till now? Any clarity that you want me to give? Did I go fast? Anything that you want me to repeat? Okay. If things are clear till now, give a quick smile face, a quick smile. Just give a smile if things have applied to you. No verbal, just an emotion.
Ma'am, shall I play it, ma'am?
Yes, ma. Unfortunately, this is it. When we were kids, when we came to college, we were so happy. But then when we turn back, we feel 10th and 12th was easy. No, it was nice and, you feel good. Then you come to work, irrespective of whichever field you are. You come to 35, you'll be like, oh, the 2025 was so nice. We missed a lot of things, right? And suddenly you become 40, 42. The time goes so fast. Somebody, we also become the image, somebody putting us rest in peace, Nirmala. This is it. We have literally no time. We literally have no time. So identify your interest, focus, focus, focus. For all this to happen, you need a strong awareness, love for yourself, definitely goal setting. For students, we take goal setting in a very different format. Now you're all big children. So I come straight to the point. Short-term goal, long-term goal. List it, work on it. And it is not easy. And people always complaining. You'll be surprised and shocked to ask themselves, they have never implemented what they need to implement. They only keep complaining. So what happens is you can never advise them because it again, the pattern repeats. So we have no time. All of us talk. I talk, you talk. We are not giving a training, doing some magic and jumping down. I have failed a lot of times and we learn through our failures. But with God's grace, certain techniques I have applied when I need to apply it. And my friends in my vicinity, they know how pressurizing it was, even for themselves, even for me or them, to do a research, taking big roles in the institution we work. So many things we do. This is what we call as multitasking. We have amazing people in the midst who are all on big, big positions. The HODs from other colleges, same college, how much big responsibilities you have. And you have already managed time effectively. That's why we have come to this stage. For those people, you just need little shaping and apply any one of these methods. Salami, Stephen Covey matrix, I call it as time management matrix, RAC, TTD, Pomodoro, rewarding yourself, whatever it is. I have clubbed everything together now because by the time you open and close, the time gets over. So act immediately. Love yourself. It's very important. Without you loving yourself, without you having a vision na பெருசா டைரியில எழுதணும் தேவையில்ல. நம்ம மனசுல என்ன நினைக்கிறோமோ அது நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில நடக்க ஆரம்பிக்கும். We call it as law of attraction. And I want all of you to come out of the circle of, always being a listener, because last day you have a laughter therapy. நீங்க அதுல participate பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா மட்டும்தான் நான் அந்த laughter therapy execute பண்ணிடுவேன். இல்லாட்டி அது theory class ஆயிடும். Break the chain. Bring the child in you. So with this note, I would like to play a last video. Now you have parallelly done the exercise of writing your difficulties and time management matrix. I will not say it is a homework, but consistently you plan your schedule, plan your list so that it will be easier for you. The last video, last but not the least. Yes. Please play. It's a very important video. Play, ma. Play from the video separately, Kana. PPT video doesn't have a volume, unfortunately.
Okay, ma'am.
Close. Yeah. It's understood here after you play the video from the directory. Somebody has put the child inside us is lost. Only we kill the child or people around us kill the child and we allow people around us to kill us. We allow. I have done that mistakes and it's a big time I've learned it also. Just pause it for a minute. If at all you can do this at your home and see for yourself, it will be wonderful. God willing, if there is an in-person session next time, we actually make people do this. That's what I was telling the coordinator. Nevertheless, you can see the video. We are filling our life with sand, not allowing the golden pebbles to reach us. So the video is all about that. Prioritize you. I will not say your life. Prioritize you. Your life will fall into it. Play more.
There's a well-known story about a university professor that wanted to make a point about the importance of prioritizing how we spend our time. The professor stood in front of his class with a display of items. He took a large, empty jar and filled it with rocks, approximately 2 inches in diameter. He then asked the class if the jar was full, and they agreed, yes, the jar was full. The professor then took a box of pebbles and added them to the jar, and gave it a little shake to move the pebbles into the open areas around the rocks. The professor asked the class again if the jar was full. They agreed, yes, it is full this time. The professor then took a box of sand and added it to the jar, filling the spaces between the rocks and the pebbles. He asked again, now, is the jar full? They laughed and agreed, yes, it's full. This jar represents your life. The big rocks signify the really important things in your life, such as health, family, and friends. The pebbles are the other things that matter in your life, such as work or school. And the sand signifies the remaining small stuff, such as material possessions. Now, if you were to reverse the order of filling the jar and add the sand first, there would not be enough room for the rocks and the pebbles. The same principle applies to your life. If you spend too much time on the small stuff, you won't have enough space or time to focus on the things that are truly important, the big rocks. So, prioritize the big rocks first. Practice self-care, spend quality time with the people you love, and the rest is just pebbles and sand. They will always find some space.
So what did you all understand?
Prioritizing work is very good.
Okay. Next, anybody else? Now I request all of you to unmute and just tell your views.
We have to ignore small things which doesn't have an impact in our work.
Okay, then anybody else? There are no right or wrong answers in our training. I already told you we are traveling together. It's just that a bit of information is shared, nothing much. I request all of you to unmute and come on your own one by one so that,
Ma'am, what I understand is, Abhi, what I understand is that even if we say we don't have time, we still have time which we could invent for ourselves.
True, beautiful, excellent. Anybody else? I'll tell you, this example might sound very stupid, very silly. Just go to your, see, we sometimes sit in the student's bench, right? Go sit in your student bench or at your home, on your desk, on your kitchen table. See, நம்ம வந்து சில பேர் நேச்சுரலாவே ரொம்ப டிஸ்ஆர்கனைஸ்டா இருப்போம். அதுவும் ஒரு அழகுதான். They are people who are very happy going, cool type. That's all good only. Okay, I'm not saying they will never manage time. They also time. We actually go to the doctors only when there is a need. ஒரு ஜுரம் நம்ம மேக்ஸிமம் வீட்டிலே ட்ரீட் பண்ண பார்ப்போம். எக்ஸ்ட்ரீமான டாக்டர்கிட்ட போவோம், மருந்து சாப்பிடுவோம். ஓகே, now here all these training is not a medicine. Training is an additional shaping that requires something for betterment. That's all. So a person who's highly complains, but certain things you can never change, but they perform at a different level. நீங்க சில குழந்தைங்களை பாருங்க, படிக்காம இருந்துட்டு நம்மளே ஸ்கூல் காலேஜ் எல்லாம் வளர்ந்து வச்சு படிக்காமலே இருந்துட்டு சூப்பரா பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஆனா நம்மள மாதிரி இப்ப என்ன ஸ்லோ லேர்னர்ஸ் எல்லாம் 100 தடவை படிச்சாதான் தலைக்கேறும். So there are individual differences. So you use your own strategy, but this strategy is for overall people. We fill our life with sand and we never allow pebbles to come. That is the moral of the story. And complain saying that I have no time. But சில பேருக்கு நிறைய personal pressureல time இல்லாதது different agenda. We are not going into it. We actually are not managing ourselves is the truth. மண்ணு போட்டு அதுக்குள்ள எப்படி குட்டி குட்டி கல்லு பெரிய பெரிய pebbles போட முடியும். If you would have seen this video, it's a beautiful video. Okay, and how beautifully you initially put the bigger one, then the smaller pebbles, and they have enlisted who's the bigger one, who's the smaller one, who's the sand. You have to decide who's the sand. You have already put fillers and done with your life. You put so much fillers and you're not allowing constructive work to happen. This is the truth. You may like it, you may not like it. People may tell you, people may not tell you. That's why we have a training program to see what is our own reflection. So sit for yourself. The third writing exercise you need to do is find out your fillers. What are your fillers that is avoiding you to give space for the real constructive work to happen? And these are all subjective exercise. This introspection will only help you to change. Without change, there will be no development and any training will not be effective. Even if it is done 1,000 times, it will be another program. So with this note, I would like every one of you to, get reminded again. I just told you about the desk. No, I stopped it there. கண்ணா பின்னான்னு சாமான போட்டு வைங்களா, உங்களுக்கு அடுத்த சாமான் போட இடமே இருக்காது. நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பெஞ்ச் எடுத்துப்போமே, அந்த 10 நோட்டை செதறி போட்டிருப்பாங்க அந்த பிள்ளைங்க. அதே அந்த 10 நோட்டை ஒதுக்கி ஒரு பைலா வச்சோம்னா இன்னும் ஒரு 50 நோட் புக் வைக்கிறதுக்கு இடம் கிடைக்கும். நம்ம மைண்ட் எக்ஸாக்டா இந்த சிஸ்டம்ல தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணும். Am I clear to everyone? Am I making sense when I'm talking? Yes, no, quick smile. I want a smile, not a yes. Am I making sense? Am I clear? Okay. So நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பெஞ்ச் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ரிலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. 100 புக்கு வைக்க வேண்டிய இடத்துல 5 புக்கை செதற வச்சிருப்பாங்க. கேட்டா இடம் இல்லைன்னுவாங்க. நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட சொல்லலையே, பேக் கீழே எடுத்து வை, ஹியூமனுக்கு முதல்ல இடம் கொடு, பியருக்கு முதல்ல இடம் கொடு, something like that. I'm giving the most silly, stupid, cranky example. அதே அந்த ஒரு 10 புக்கு ஒரு பையில அடுக்கி வச்சீங்கன்னா இனி 50 புக் இல்ல, அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 75 புக்காவது வைக்கலாம். டிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் த சைஸ். ஓகே, அகைன் டோன்ட் கெட் ஜெனரலைஸ் வித் இட். ஸோ நம்ம எவ்வளோ பைலிங் அப் ஆர்கனைஸ்டா பண்ணணும். வித் திஸ் நோட் ஐ கன்க்ளூட் மை டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் session, and it is all up to you to implement. I put everything in a nutshell. You have seen RAC method, where you record, analyze, and challenge. You can either use that method, or Salami, where you break down the entire thing into small chunks. You finish one and only then you go to the next. You can either use that, or to-do list. You call it as to-do list. I call it as things to do. Okay, things to do. So you can either use that, or you can use the time management matrix. Anything that fits you, your cup of tea, you choose. Don't take all the method and confuse. It's given to you. Take any one, and that will bring in world of difference. ஒரு காரியம் பண்ணாலும் ஒரு குட்டி காரியமா ஆரம்பிங்க. That baby step, trust me, this I will repeat today, tomorrow, whenever I execute a training program. That baby step will make world of difference. So thank you so much for patiently listening. I think today I was sticking to the time. Probably I was more conscious that it is time management. So hope the session was good. If the session was good, you can put a thumbs up. If the session was bad, you can put the thumbs down. Choice is yours, no offense. So can I have a quick feedback? You can use Pomodoro. Pomodoro is one phenomenal technique. The 25 minutes work and that 5 minutes break will give you a lot of energy. Okay, 118 participants are there. I want 118 thumbs up or 118 thumbs down. Either way, it's fine. Yes. Any questions? Any questions? How to be consistent? There are a lot of questions that I can always give a very strong answer. Practice. First, when you do it, it will be very bitter because that is not what we are. Okay. தொடர்ச்சியா நம்மளால பண்ண முடியாது. அப்படி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒரு கால் எடுத்து வச்சு ரொம்ப வலிக்கும். நம்ம சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, கடுப்பா இருக்கு, irritating இருக்கு, because your brain wiring is different all these days. It was only seeking, that pleasures and stuff. Suddenly you want to bring in a change. We call this as programming. Basically, we do technical session on NLP, CBT, this, that. Okay. So it will take a bit of pain. And once you do it, I told you, reward yourself. We never do it because the adult in us is so strong. We never reward. We say, இதுல என்ன இருக்கு, எதுக்கு சிரிக்கணும், இதென்ன நம்மளே நம்மள தட்டிக்குது, பைத்தியக்காரத்தனமா இருக்கு. See how you're labeling yourself so bad, so you're believing you're mad. You're telling your mind you're wrong. So first take that step. You're talking about consistency, right? Then reward yourself. Great, Lakshmi, you've done a wonderful job. The next time, each time you do it, you give some appreciation token for yourself. This is a bit weird, but that helps you. A chocolate, a soft toy, whichever is your comfort zone. Mine is chocolate, so I'm projecting my things. something nice for you. Nobody will lift us. I will give it to you in writing, except your friends, except your real loved ones, except you teachers yourself. நீங்களாம் தான் உங்களை lift பண்ணுவீங்க. Very good colleagues of yours will always lift you. Your friends will lift you. Your mother or father or very close one will lift you. Your siblings, whoever you can name the relation, others, everyone will only pull us down. Trainers like us, we try to lift you, but we find it very difficult when you listen to this and walk off, and again you'd be the same thing. Okay, so you have to lift yourself. Give something rewarding to you. It'll be beautiful. Some flower, some coffee, some book. You might be a voracious reader. Some music. You might not be a listening person. You might be a reading person. You might be a kinesthetic person. One touch for yourself. Just rub your thing. I'll tell you what happens when you're rubbing. Yesterday I told one part of it, stroking. It'll give you a good feel. Wow, great. Anything of this reward, and trust me, with 1 week practice, it'll become consistent. This will happen within your mind and body because they are tameable. இயற்கை அது. அதான் நம்ம குழந்தைங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுப்போம்ல, காத்தால 6 மணி ஆனா எணிச்சிடணும், படி. நம்ம என்னதான் படிக்காட்டி நம்ம பசங்களை படின்னு பிராணன் எடுத்துருவோம். Because that's a need of the hour. Hope I've answered your question.
Ma'am, with your due permission, post feedback link, ma'am.
Okay, da.
Yeah.
Permission, you go ahead.
I thank all the 124 participants for being supportive in the second day. I request all the participants to join tomorrow's session by sharp 6 p.m. Thank you. Feedback link will be posted within a seconds. You can fill the feedback. The link will be open only for 10 minutes. Kindly fill as soon as possible. Thank you.
And hope today done it on time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And sorry to the audience yesterday. Yesterday was a very important session. Without putting that seed, the next 4 days will not be workable. So that's the reason we were trying to travel.
Yeah, the link is posted in feedback. A link is posted in chat box. You can use it to fill the form.
So Barney ma'am, may I sign off?
Yes, ma'am. If you want to, you can. Otherwise, you can.
If I want to what? Your voice is flickering.
Interact with participants.
Yeah,
If
any question and answer, I'm ready to attend. Any Q&A. Any Q&A?
Nitisha ma'am, kindly repost the feedback link in the chat box.
Somebody says it's not.
Okay, ma'am. Someone is saying that the link is not able to open.